Hey everybody, it's a super special episode of the RadioShorty podcast with DJ Hi Kevin, where Kevin goes home and gets to interview his parents. Stay tuned for a great show.
Okay. And then I'll introduce you guys, and then riff from there. Okay.
Sorry. Let's bridge it.
Give me the phone.
I just turned the phone.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
What are you doing?
I'm interviewing mom and dad right now.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
I didn't know if they were coming over.
As soon as we're done with this, we're gonna come over just to say hi, and then we're gonna jet out too. So.
Okay.
Okay.
How much longer is this?
Well, we just started, so maybe give it like 25 minutes, and then we'll be on our way.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Should we drop everything for you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, no. So,
Obviously.
well, no. So, do you have a kite there that you can fly?
No.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hold them from you.
See you later.
Bye.
All right,
Clearly not having it. Hey, everybody. It's Hi Kevin from the RadioShorty podcast with DJ Hi Kevin. And I'm here. We are actually visiting for work. So that we did one of my best buddies' little brother's wedding just last night. And my parents were in attendance. And we just had a little situation pop up with Spinelli so that the video couldn't really get done. So I figured we'd do like just a little something while we're here in town to interview my parents, which you have heard my dad's voice, Jim Garrity, plenty of times at the beginning of the podcast. And then we were working on getting mom's voice at the end, but nothing came through just yet. But so this is my parents, Jim and Heidi Garrity. You guys want to say hi?
Hi,
everyone.
That's it? That's all you want to know?
Yeah. What else do you want
I
to
don't
say?
know. I don't know how this works.
You're
You're
interviewing.
Yeah, I should probably know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
right?
That's how it works.
But so I grew up here in Canton, Connecticut, where they still live in this beautiful home, and we were just hanging out at a Plord wedding in New Hartford, and spent some time in Avon and a little bit in Simsbury. So this is just like everything that I know, but I wanted to get to know my parents a little bit more for you guys. So being primarily private event DJs, we're probably all familiar with the shoe game. So we're going to do some shoe game questions just to find out a little bit about them. We're not going to do the official like back-to-back, take the shoes off thing.
We're not doing that bullshit.
But before we get into all that stuff, do you guys want to tell us a little bit about yourselves? Just like elevator, you bumped into somebody and you're just kind of catching them up on what you've been doing in life. Like, mom, what do you do for life? What do you do for work?
What do I do for work? I work in West Hartford Center. I am a director of operations. I work for an investment firm.
Okay.
So I'm kind of back office.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
and I've been there for 14 years.
For the laymans that don't know what any of those words you've said, just what they mean. Like if you had to teach a 5-year-old what you do for work, how would you describe it?
We help people when they invest their money.
Okay.
So that hopefully it grows.
Nice.
Not this year, but
yeah, sure. I think we could all see that.
Yes.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
You clearly like what you do even before you worked for the company you work for now. You were doing something very similar, right?
Yep, financial planning.
Cool.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yep.
Nice. So you've been doing financial planning for how long?
I've been over 30 years.
Sweet.
In the investment
so before
world.
I was born.
Yep.
Helping people move their money in the right ways.
Yes.
Cool. You like what you do?
I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dad.
Oh,
Jim.
hi.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. You can call me Dad. I've been working in IT for over 35 years. Started with a major insurance company here in Hartford, Connecticut, and 28 years there. Then started moving around, going to other companies, but always in the IT space, everything from mainframe to PCs. So that was my gig, and then now I'm architect level type work where I design and build out environments for different tasks.
Nice. And you work in like the Boston area now?
No, Springfield.
Springfield area,
Yep.
that's right.
Yep. Yes, in Springfield,
Right,
which is
just
only
over the
40
line.
minutes from here.
Right.
So
Yeah.
one of my good friends hired me on. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. You also like what you do?
yes, I do.
All right, explain like I'm 5. what you do?
I make shit work so that her shit works.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. You're the disgruntled guy in the back office that just
I'm
walks
the-
in, clicks a button,
I'm
and
the-
fixes
yeah.
everything like that.
If there's something broken, get away from me, we'll fix it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I will say that obviously I told the story about working in the back office for
Yes,
you for a little
yes.
bit and how I lasted maybe 40 hours total,
Right.
I would say.
Yeah.
And then obviously like my career path definitely aligned a little bit more with yours. But I just don't have the patience for that type of stuff. So
Yeah, the day-to-day is
this
different.
is me getting to play with fun electronic toys
Yeah.
and
Sure.
but be a little more out there because I have to be.
Yeah.
So let's dig into the shoe game. I'm gonna try not to like ask anything too just annoying because a lot of these questions are just like to like warm you up.
Sure.
But so real quick, what we'll do is I'll ask the question
Okay.
and then we can kind of talk about the topic just a little bit. So who has more siblings?
I did.
Yes. So you are one of 6.
One of 6. I'm the 4th of 6.
Right.
I say the middle child, and that always gets people because they don't understand that there's no middle with 6 kids. But
Right.
it's my joke.
Not everybody's good
Yeah.
at math.
But I'm also the oldest of the second family.
Right. So explain the second family thing because this probably hits pretty heavily with a certain generation,
Yep.
way more than others.
Yeah. So being the 4th of 6 and 2 following me, my oldest sister, the oldest of the family, and then there was a brother 2 years later, another brother 2 years later. Then there's a 3-year gap between me and my older brother. Then it was a 2-year cycle after that.
Right.
So that's how we called it the second family, mainly because the first family, they were the first to experience everything. And obviously, like any oldest sister, she was the spoiled one, even though we're 6 kids. But she was the one that, got her way more than the rest of us. And then as the second family came along, we just said, we'll take whatever we can get.
Whatever
So,
you can get.
yeah.
Cool.
Until my younger brother, Uncle Rich, who you always tries to get in on your streams somehow.
He does.
He's the one that cries for attention all the time.
This just goes to show you that you could be in your 50s, 60s, and your family is still your family.
Yes.
You still screw with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he'll love to be mentioned.
Yes,
on
he
the
will.
podcast.
And so as long as we're doing it, I'm going to say all their names.
May as well. You have to.
Anne Marie, which we call Annie. Pat, I call Butch. My brother Joe, Jojo to me. My little sister Trish, I call her Patty Ann.
Yeah.
And Airman Dick is Rich.
Yeah, Uncle Dick.
Because
Exactly.
he was in the Air Force for a little bit.
So, and then Mom, you were one of 3.
Yep.
You're the youngest.
Yep. Baby of 3, 2 older brothers. The oldest lives in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
not too far from
Not
Kevin.
too far.
And he has 2 daughters, and one of them lives really close
Yeah.
to you too.
Yeah.
And then my second oldest is Harry, who lives in Avon with his wife, and they have 2 kids. My nephew Nick lives in Germany, and Gabriella lives in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So
She's in Rhode
nice
Island.
family, yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't have to name all my nieces and nephews.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
I
get
know.
the
There's
names.
37
I'll screw
of them.
somebody else.
Yeah.
There's ones you don't even know, like
Yeah.
basically at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
All right, cool. So actually, I think I know the story pretty well, but you guys first met at ShopRite?
Food Mart.
Food Mart.
Food Mart, which
Wall Bonds. Food
doesn't
Mart.
exist anymore.
Right.
Big
Right.
Y bought them out.
You were stocking shelves.
I was a stock boy, yeah.
Yes. And what were you doing?
Cashier.
Your cash. Okay.
Cashier.
But I met her
God,
in the
is
dairy
that
aisle.
just
Yeah.
like the cutest shit ever?
Yeah.
It's like front of house, back of house stuff, you
I
know?
know.
She was
Yeah.
trying to meet me. She would always have to put away groceries and ask me where stuff went. So that's
I'll have to
nice.
send you some pictures that you can maybe interject.
Oh my God, I would love to.
Yeah.
We have to do that.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you're just listening to the audio and it changes to cool music right now that you're familiar with, then we're probably showing a slideshow of pictures of
Yeah.
that. All right, cool. And then you guys you went to college
When I was
together, too.
16.
You were 16.
I was 16.
And you were how many years your senior?
I'm 3 years older,
Yeah.
so I was
Okay.
probably 19 at the time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's at that age, I felt like it seemed like a pretty big gap, but then obviously as you get older,
Yeah.
you know.
guys
matter
mature
anymore.
so much slower.
Exactly.
I'm still a kid.
That's
And
just
she's like my mother. Sometimes.
Yeah. They gotta be. They have to be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it
How many
keeps me
times
on track?
Mothers check in with like girlfriends, like, is he eating?
Yeah.
You know, like that.
Yeah.
It's ends up being just like the motherly role that
Yeah.
ends up in a relationship. Which
Well, you went to school later too, so you ended up being just a little behind.
Yeah,
me
so I
in
started. I
school.
went to college.
to your
Elected to drop out after a semester and a half. Went to work full time for a year. That is immature to go to college.
I didn't
it's
know
different.
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I went to UConn, so that's why anything with UConn I hate because
Yeah, right.
I make fun of my brothers because they're big UConn fans. That's for you, Pat and Joe, and Annie too. But and then I went to Central for a year, and then
Central Connecticut State University.
CCSU, yeah.
Yep.
And then Heidi joined me there the next year. But we were commuters, so we didn't do the college experience,
Right.
which was important for us to have our kids go away to school and enjoy it better.
So when I
Only to
ran.
know that he would never come home again.
Bull fucking shit! Look at me. Is there anything more Connecticut than this shit right here? Like,
And you always put the living room on. You were putting.
yeah, I was doing the living room for Twitch stuff.
Yeah,
I gotta
that
bring
was
that back. That was fun. Okay, cool. Well, we kind of dove deep into that question,
Yeah.
but you guys both being CC. What was CCSU's mascot?
Blue Devils.
The Blue Devils.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So there's a lot of questions on this list that are kind of just like poking and prodding, just to like create controversy.
Yeah.
But I love it. Who's the better driver?
Jim, of course.
Yeah, right. Depending on who you ask.
Although
but-
I taught her how to drive a standard, so
Okay,
Right.
so there you go. Right, and you also taught me,
Yeah.
and you taught
And my
Bridget.
brothers.
And I
And,
taught
oh
both.
wow, okay,
Both my
cool.
brothers. Yeah.
so
Jim's School of Driving.
Yeah.
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 You want to burn out a clutch? I'll just teach
You want to burn movies or burn out a clutch? Come to Jim. So you're the better driver, Dad.
Yes, well, she said so.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay, cool.
I'm not kidding.
All right, cool. Then I'm not even going to ask the next
No,
question.
what was the next one?
Who's been in more accidents?
I have.
Yeah.
Well, I drive more, so that's going to be more time
There
on
you
the
go.
road.
You know, it's not coincidence,
Yeah.
causation, or whatever, something like that. A little bit of school stuff. Just who would you say was like the better student growing up?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well,
I
she's
guess.
Heidi's more organized, and that's still part of who she is. Better organization and all that kind of stuff. Me, I know stuff, but as far as schoolwork, I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't a great student.
You know, I was the same way.
Yeah.
More creative though. I think you guys have different creativities
Yeah.
for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Mom, you're a little more like the
Well,
rock
look,
painting stuff and
Artistic,
everything
yeah,
that
a
you do.
little
Yeah, all the
more
artistic
crafty.
stuff. You know,
Yeah,
like
Crafty, artistic.
I mean,
yeah.
a Connecticut home does not decorate itself,
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
My mom's an amazing decorator just of this place. Like we just the themes, how they flip a switch and all of a sudden it's a different
It's
season
like Disney
inside
World.
and out.
It's like Disney
Literally
World.
like Disney World.
I go to bed at night,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's a new season in the morning.
But Dad, obviously, like with just on the I don't want to say like the more manly side of things,
Well,
but you're definitely
that's what we
that's
like
what
to
it is.
call it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, woodworking and building stuff.
You're slightly traditional roles
Yeah.
of
Yes,
the
yes.
male versus female stuff, which I think is it holds ground a lot.
Although your mother will
Yeah.
move boulders.
Yeah,
I mean
absolutely.
that seriously.
Yeah.
It's not like
Or-
one of those.
Yeah, or chop a tree
Yeah.
down
Yeah,
or something.
she's
crazy.
out there with
Yeah.
me splitting wood and all that stuff.
Mhm.
She spends more time on the splitter than I do.
Yeah.
She likes it. She
And your
get away
mulcher,
from
you
me.
love your mulcher too and stuff,
Yeah.
like, right?
Oh, yeah.
You just like to destroy shit.
Fire.
Fire, yeah, we love our fire.
Yeah. I burned 3 pillows last week.
What? I don't think that's legal.
It's not.
It's illegal to burn
What?
leaves.
Well,
No.
that's
No.
crap. That's bullshit. We're in the country. We have.
Yeah, I guess out here it's a little bit different, right?
Somebody
Yeah.
try and shut us down.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Is like when you try and I don't know. I was just talking to Glenn on our last episode. I don't know if you guys listened to the
Yes,
whole
we
thing,
did.
We've listened to all of your
Yes.
shows. That was one of the questions.
Yes.
right? Oh, you answered it.
I didn't answer it. I read it. so
Okay,
I
you
didn't
did the
answer it.
podcast. We do a pre-interview.
Question.
questionnaire that-
Okay.
I didn't get the chance.
It's okay. I didn't expect you to even answer it. But Glenn was talking about how when you try and shut down the entire state of Texas, you have the very metropolitan areas,
Yep.
and then you got people that haven't seen another person with a different last name in 6 months.
Oh, right.
Like they're not going to wear a mask
Right.
Yeah.
or
That
worry
was in a
about
small town he was
anything.
talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like you guys are obviously on on the outskirts, you could say, of like the more metro areas of this part of Connecticut.
Yeah,
so
we're even more on the outskirts of our own area because we're on a private road.
Well, the first time we got in trouble for shooting off fireworks, I was like, "What are you even doing out here?
Yeah, why are you're not
like,
here when
who's
we
the
need
snitch?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Somebody
sort
with
of
a dog that was yapping.
Exactly.
I got poked for that one.
God, some of these are just funny. Who's more likely to be running late? I think we covered that.
Yeah.
Adventurousness it definitely brings up a lot because you guys got way more adventurous once we left for college. Like once I was officially moved out, I feel like you guys finally got to like start living your lives
our college
again.
years.
Yeah, exactly. So you've been a ton of places.
Yeah.
If you can name like your favorite. In Alaska, I'm guessing, right?
Oh yeah.
We did a cruise to Alaska for our 30th anniversary 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We went up to Vancouver, spent the night there, did the whole inner harbor area, whatever they call that.
Yeah.
And then we got on a boat and sailed up to Alaska. That was 7 days.
Yeah.
And then another 7 days on land, going up into Mount McKinley. I won't call it Denali.
There's a train ride for 10 hours.
Yeah.
There's a train ride for 10 hours from the ship up to our
trains.
hotels.
Got to do our trains.
Yep. And you guys saw the Northern Lights?
No.
Well, kind of. We saw something out there, but who knows we were drinking.
Oh.
Well, there were alerts telling us when the
Yeah.
Northern Lights were supposed to be.
Cool.
So we look
Yeah.
out the window from the hotel, or from our room. It wasn't really a hotel. It was more like a bunch of condos,
Oh,
if
cool.
you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Separate buildings all over the mountainside.
Yeah.
So it made it more Alaska. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
But we saw Mount McKinley, which
Oh, yeah.
is
Yeah.
not always.
Yeah, not always out.
Yeah.
We were supposed to land on a glacier,
Mm.
but we flew up there and the weather was too rough, so we didn't get to land. But I was up in the front with that was the co-pilot seat, so that was cool for me. So as far as more adventurous, I think I am.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
Right.
because I'll jump into those things, like
Mhm.
even this
Yeah.
guy who was a pilot was trying to get up there. It's like, dude, how about
Yeah.
you're in there all the time? You know?
Yeah. Right.
Goes, I wouldn't volunteer. I make fun.
Well, yeah, because you guys take like just day drive trips when it's nice out and stuff, and so like, Mom, I know you love Vermont, New Hampshire.
Yeah, New
There
Hampshire.
it is, definitely New Hampshire.
Yep. See,
So
I like the lakes and he likes the ocean.
right.
So
Okay.
that's
It's
why
a fun
in
contrast.
spring we go to Cape, Martha's Vineyard,
Right.
and then in the fall we'll do New Hampshire.
And we used to do Mystic for your birthday
We did that
one time.
We used to do it a lot.
One time.
Yep.
But I mean, it's cool because then we go and visit Steve McFettridge in Mystic and Darth Vader when he's DJing there. So
Yeah.
it's kind of fun just being able to like roll through there again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about like we always see that one spot that we ate.
Yep.
Oh,
You
down
like
the street.
dip down in Mystic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, just right over the bridge. Like
Yes,
just
yes.
that lower area.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
forget what it's called.
yeah. Oh yeah, the restaurant on the corner.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's pretty cool just to see you guys getting to do all this stuff
Yeah,
from my point of view as your kid.
Well, we also have a lot of neighborhood friends that have also all in the same age group, so that's how we've
Right.
all
Yeah.
either gone to different concerts over in the Farmington area.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Or,
and you're basically kind of specifically mentioning the Plords.
Yeah, the
Who,
Plords. Yeah.
I don't remember if I've mentioned them on this before, but definitely have been like in the streams and stuff.
Yeah.
So we just did Tyler's wedding last night, where obviously his parents were there, and they are your like pretty
Good
close
friends.
friends for you
Yep.
guys.
Yep.
In your age group, and
Yes.
it's cool for us to be able, because then like as kids we get to hang out with our friends still,
Yeah.
while you guys get to hang out with their parents.
Well,
and
and
your
I
friends,
probably spent more time with your friends, Christian and Tyler, because I go to a golf event
Right.
with them
Yeah.
every
Right.
year.
Yeah,
Because
don't
of
get
this-
jealous at all when I get pictures from you
No,
guys.
not at all. And we're all
Not
doing
at
shots
all.
together.
Yeah. Maybe later we can venture out and look at the beer wagon that
At least post a picture of the beer
Yeah,
wagon.
we'll post a picture of
Shows
the
our
beer
neighborhood.
wagon.
Yeah.
it's really
But,
after
well,
you
Tell us a
left.
story about the beer wagon. Then.
Oh well, I know. I was just say after you left.
Yeah.
That's when we bought the bar, and really started getting into.
Not literally like a restaurant bar,
No,
like
no,
just
no,
somewhere
like-
to put liquor.
Yeah.
Well, I
We
came
didn't
back and I
have
was
that.
making gimlets for you guys
Yeah,
at like 18.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
with you guys at that age group in high school and stuff, we didn't want that
Yeah,
around.
sure.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's a bad thing, but we were,
Cautious.
we thought of our kids. We
Yeah.
didn't want them drinking too much in high school.
Right.
We don't know what they did, but we didn't want that. So,
Right.
yeah, I know you guys were pretty.
I had a conversation
Straighten out.
with Christian and his mom about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Just like it was great that we had each other because we were just like not really that interested.
Yeah.
Just way more keen to stay out of trouble.
But I think where your mom was going with that just start
Yeah.
getting us to where, okay, now we can start living our lives.
Entertaining
It's
more.
not about you guys.
Yeah, parties more.
Yeah, we had an annual Christmas party with all our
Neighbors.
So this was all of our friends that we made through the football booster that you and Christian
Sure.
were the, start, your age group was the start of the football program in town. So we were part of the boosters, with Mr. Plord, Bill, and the other guys, the Wolf Pack, that's Carl and AJ. So we were involved in football, then we start going to football games together and going to the casino and getting, kinds of trouble. But,
Having fun.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. So the beer wagon is basically, I would say, like a good representation of all of that, of just like really just a bunch of random families basically putting a seat on a wagon so that you guys can just like bop around and drink together.
Yeah, but
You know?
it's a beer wagon, but it's supposed to stay in one place.
Right.
Everybody
right.
else asks you drive.
It's on wheels to get you to where you're gonna
to
stay.
get it to where it's gonna
Right, to
be
where it's
set
gonna
up. But
stay.
that's about it.
It is not a Nashville
Not one
bachelorette
of those,
party,
because
pedal as a team
No,
type.
because who wants to pedal?
Nobody does. I don't know. These questions really aren't as pegged to. It's like stuff that I put in a certain order to try and like cause drama. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, because I make them like sniff their shoes and I say, "Who has the smelliest feet?"
Oh,
So
God.
that's not-
Well, we don't have to sniff shoes.
No.
Were you trying to have an Oma and Opa moment or not?
No, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I guess just what's it? So I can remember one specific story when you guys came to visit me in Pennsylvania, and I've been very scattered and just like deciding what I wanted to do for so long. Like I graduated and I was doing freelance stuff. I was working in a restaurant, then I was selling cars. And then I was like, I'm going to go become a DJ. And I can only imagine what that's like. It's like, Jesus Christ, what else is Kevin going to decide he wants to do? And then at one point we had to stop in the office because I had to have a meeting. And like, I just saw like this happen over both your faces. Like Kevin's got an office with his name on it.
Yeah.
Like corner office. I felt like I had finally made it.
Yeah.
So what's it like to have, like, because Bridget's, my sister is a doctor. She's, well, not a real doctor.
She's a real doctor. A doctor of optometry. So
She's an optometrist.
So,
yes,
yeah,
she's a
don't
very
credit.
official name.
don't get us in trouble.
She now has her own practice.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And as a true doctor, like that's a traditional path. Whereas obviously I don't want to say black sheep in that I'm shunned from anything, but that just I've taken a way more chaotic. And like that, at one point you said when I was selling cars, you're like, I could never live that life.
Yeah.
Because you can't rely on money.
No.
Yeah.
And that's just always, and you've said it before, you described me like with using the word hustle.
Yeah.
So just what's it like to have a DJ as a kid? And then now I'm bringing Teddy into this. Like, how does that, obviously it's a different time, but like, was that at first like kind of scary for you guys? Like, were you worried for me? Were you worried about, like, what was that like for you guys?
Okay.
I was.
Mom answer first.
Yeah, I was-
probably opposed.
I was never worried about it because all we ever have told you kids is we want you to be happy.
Yeah.
If that makes you happy, and I think from the point when you worked with me and couldn't sit in an office, I
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah.
That you would never be that type of person sitting in an office. You needed some movement. You were even better in restaurants because you're moving, you're meeting people. So we understood that was where you were headed.
Yeah.
So it didn't bother me. The only thing that might concern me was what happened with COVID was you were out of income.
Right.
Because everything just stopped.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that would worry me.
Well, that was the hardest for me because it was a huge pride thing. Like, I got to be on unemployment. Like, I've a roof over my head. Like, I don't feel like I'm deserving of that at all.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we put in, so that was our chance to take out.
Right.
So that was one thing.
Right.
And we had an old high school friend of mine that's a musician now living in New York City. And he was the same way. It's just like, man, that was a scary time. But at the same time, it's like, we finally get a break, from the hustle.
Yes,
which is,
sure.
it's like, God, because Jackson was saying he hasn't had a vacation in 12 years.
Right.
And it's just like, it's gig life. You're just always hunting for the next thing to make sure that you can, do that. And it's cool that we're in a time period where there is so much stability in such a, really what is a hobby turned career.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So Dad, you sounded like you were winding up.
Well, no, because obviously from my growing up, the most important thing was get with a company. The company takes care of you and all that kind of stuff. That's changed a lot. The loyalty has shifted. Companies aren't loyal to their employees anymore. So I kind of understood where you were going. It was a different age, but you've always been that creative one, more where Bridget was more textbooks.
Sure.
You're the other extreme of that. You're more social. So this just fit right in with you. When you first were doing the DJ stuff, I was kind of obviously hesitant, but then we start seeing you perform and everything. Somebody asked us last night, have you seen Kevin perform, do his gig before, do his thing?
Yeah.
And it's like, we saw it a couple of years ago, and then a couple of years later, so what was it? Timmy's was 4 years or so ago. That was the first one. Then Chris's a couple of years later. And I've just seen you grow with it because, somebody said to you yesterday that you command the room, and that's, you were more in control yesterday than we've ever seen you before. You really took over and nobody could, talk you out of what you were doing. So that was, so, and obviously when we saw you in your office, that was a big moment for us both, or at least for me. I think Mom agrees.
Sure.
And then, we've seen it.
Yeah.
Cool.
We've seen you grow. Like I said, we're very proud of you. Whatever you want to do, as long as you guys are happy, that's all that is important.
Well, and you don't come to us for money. So.
That's the last thing.
Yeah, well,
I was gonna say the good thing about COVID was you guys came to see us like every 2 months.
Yeah. That was
which was awesome.
It's tough because now it's like the hangover of that. Watch that.
Put it out there on purpose.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry.
I knew what I was doing.
All right,
That's a Garrity thing.
No, but so that was a cool thing because again, like what Jackson said, like we just never had the time to do the stuff that we even that we wanted to, but that we felt like we just couldn't do, but we needed to do. Yeah. So that was definitely the blessing out of the curse, and just family ties definitely got stronger. And,
Teddy's one of those blessings.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We love her.
Teddy's like right over there, and this is her phone, so she's just being quiet. But I know we got to go help Bridget because she's the oldest child, so she gets priority.
And she has 4 kids. So.
And she has 4 kids that she chose to have herself.
5 including Ricky.
Yes, of course, including Ricky. But thank you guys for doing this.
Thank you.
So did we answer everything you wanted to have answered?
Yeah,
I think so. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
No.
Good joke.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, we got to do dad jokes from my dad. Yes, okay. So tell me, is this, did you come up with this joke? Did you find this joke?
Heard last night at the wedding.
Oh, okay, this is fresh.
Our boy Carl Grabowski is always known for his jokes, and he always pisses off his wife because she's heard him 20 or 30 times before that. So
and he was just rattling.
He's got a workshop.
He's awesome with it. So so anyway, ready? What do you call a dog with no legs? Nothing. He's not going to come anyway.
Jeez. Just
cut it.
No, thank you guys. This was fun. Yes. I never thought I'd get to do this.
Yeah.
We never thought so either.
Right? Exactly. So, this will be easy to edit too. I can't wait.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for tuning in, meeting my parents, Jim and Heidi Garrity. Thanks,
everyone.
Teddy, for running the camera. And thanks, Connecticut, for having nice weather while we're here.
Yeah.
For sure. Later.
Thanks for checking out the Radio Shorty podcast with DJ Hi Kevin. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as videos on our YouTube page. For exclusive clips and highlights, check out our Instagram and TikTok at Radio Shorty Podcast, and we will see you next Tuesday.